Number 3, clearly explain the home buying process. They don't know how to do this. Not even your seasoned people. It's laughable that I have been on the phone as recently as this week with clients and members of clients' family who understand, I've bought houses before, this is what I understand, this is the way it works. I hate to disappoint, or I hate to correct you, but things have changed since the last time you bought a home. Things have changed in Florida since the last time you had a home purchase in Missouri. I want to make absolutely sure you understand what the process is. And you, Mr. Buyer, and family and friends and everybody else that's whispering in their ears, understand who the expert in the room is. You're there to actively listen, but you're not going to get browbeat by all of these outsiders that aren't involved in the transaction. Your job is to be the point of contact and to lead the discussion. It is essential for you to guide your home buyers through a very intricate, legal, binding process, clearly, concisely. And by doing so, you are going to minimize all of this anxiety and establish a sense of trust that you should have learned how to do a long time ago. Time for you to brush up on all that. Here are just a few of the very important things in the home buying process timeline that you better learn how to discuss and discuss them well. And I promise you, if you go through all of this, they will have forgotten half, if not had no awareness whatsoever, and going to really appreciate that you are there, guide and Sherpa them through this entire journey. Financing. I appreciate the fact that you've gotten a pre-approval, but we need to now evaluate your financial readiness and make sure that we can truly put in offers on homes based on this pre-approval and what the finance organizations are going to ask for us next to make sure that you can firmly seat your offer and any of the concessions that we're going to be asking for. Ultimately, we can't write offers for things you can't afford and for costs to show up that you weren't aware of, and that killed the deal. Budget. We've got to determine what their budget is and decide how much your clients can actually afford to spend on a house. And no, I don't mean the listing cost or the contract price. I mean the total price of ownership, the insurance, taxes, any monies that they have to spend to get the home ready if they're buying a resale home, any additional expenses they have to spend on making absolutely sure that they've got all of their inspections completed, their appraisal costs, if that's not being paid for elsewhere. We've got to make sure that they've got everything ready and money in the bank to be prepared for what a down payment is and what those costs are for them. Financing options. Take the time to research and explore the different financing options with them. Get them on the phone with their lender. Talk about what is conventional, what is FHA, VA. If they're buying in a more rural area and they have the opportunity for a USDA loan, that they should absolutely take advantage of it. And what is that program and how do they get involved? Mortgage. We now have to walk through an approval process to go from your pre-approval to a mortgage. We got to go through something called underwriting. And yeah, that means your loan officer might be pushing you off to a whole team of people in the background that are going to be stepping in and doing a bunch of work. And who are all these people running around inside of my process and getting copied into my emails? And what is a coordinator? And why is somebody reviewing all of my intricate financial paperwork on top of everything that I've got inside of a credit report? We got to do all that before we even get to the home search. The home search itself, the selection of properties that meets a buyer's criteria so that you can arrange viewings, so you can make sure to do the research before you get on the road and go to a home to show it off, that you haven't been catfished, or you aren't in a situation where you're about to buy into a blighted area that your client doesn't want to be involved in additional enhancements and construction areas for. You may even not want to get a brand new home bought in a community that is still under the process of being built because they don't want the houses all the way down the brand new street to be under construction for the next 2 years. These are all things that your experience brings to the table that your client can't possibly know. And they need you, and they need your experience exposed to them. How are we going to make an offer? It's not just, I want to buy this house. Alex, go, push the button. I wish it was that simple. But we've got to discuss all the factors involved in making that offer. We got to talk about the current market, the list price of the home's actual value, all of the things that we need to negotiate into our purchase. It's not just purchase price. How much are we willing to put down as a deposit? How much are we willing to offer towards repairs or request for changes in the home that we're looking for? There may have been some missed updating or something inside of the 4-point that got just egregiously avoided. That air conditioner might be 20 years old, and regardless of the fact that it's under a service contract, you may not be willing to buy the house knowing that you're going to replace it within the next few years. Inspections and appraisals. These are out-of-pocket expenses that your buyer may not even be aware of. They think everything is included in a realtor package. You need to check that the home is in good condition, and you need to be able to make sure and show them why it's worth the investment, and that an appraisal or a good inspector might uncover a whole bunch of things that you don't even see. You're going to talk about the closing process. You're going to walk them through exactly what to expect in closing and all of the paperwork that they are going to have to review and understand before they walk into the room and just throw a bunch of signatures on it and someone hand them the keys. Problem with the internet is what it is versus what we're being shown. It's difficult. It's not easy. It's stressful. It is a lot of sleepless nights and arguments as a couple sometimes in this process of getting the house under contract, much less getting to the closing table. Your job is to understand that that actually is happening in the background and how you can help get in front of it by simply telling the client, hey, I know this is going to be a point of contention between the two of you. She wanted an all-white home inside. You wanted accent walls in a lot of different colors. I think we found a home that meets in the middle, but I need you guys to be honest with each other, because when we're spending X amount of money on this home and towards the closing, I want you both happy when we walk in on closing day. Step 4, you need to include a market analysis, not just a rundown on the house that they might be interested in. Congratulations if you got lucky enough that they picked a house and now you just have to investigate one home and put in an offer. That is a unicorn and is not very easy to find. You need to help the buyers make a smart decision. You need to provide comprehensive market information. They need to see home pricing trends, property varieties in different neighborhoods, average times on markets, and they need to understand any insight into negotiation and purchasing that you and your experience have learned, especially under the current market conditions. You've got to be able to ensure for them and keep them at ease that you have all the information that you need to keep them confident about investing at this time in this market with this amount of money. The simple stuff's going to happen. The median sales prices has risen or fallen. Median days on the market has risen or fallen. Major takeaways for buyers in this town that they face, challenges and opportunities, new shopping malls, new things coming up in the area, things that are moving out of the area. These are all things they got to know. And yes, like it or not, how close is my local Starbucks? How close and what are the ratings of the local schools? What's the crime rate? Or what sites can I be shown that will help me decide if this is an okay area where I feel confident and safe? Careful, realtors, you can't describe what safety means to you. They need to be shown the sites on the internet and make their own decisions of crime rates and whether or not the area is in an acceptable, safe condition for them. That is not our job. And if you start throwing your opinions out there, it could be constituted as steering. So be very careful. You have an opinion of how you would live and raise your family and where you might decide to buy a home. This is not necessarily their journey. Your job is to vet and make sure to keep them on the cleanest transaction possible, not to steer them into one house or another. Lots of things you can say to buyers under that presentation, but just something that I say often so it's easy to roll off the tongue. Hey, based on a market analysis, I can show you here that the average selling prices for similar properties in this area have increased by percentage over the past year. This is going to indicate for you guys that this is a strong demand for homes and it is a good investment for this area at this time. It's a good time to make a purchase here because we have inventory in similar homes, meaning there is competition for buyers, which is always going to work in your favor. Overall, the market analysis is going to indicate favorable conditions for you to purchase this home now versus waiting any longer, and why this will be easier in our negotiating practice of how we want to be able to successfully get the home under contract. Showcasing properties, big number 5 on our list. To showcase properties, it is essential to do more than just recite the home features when you present these things. Instead, you need to bring this home to life. You need to tell the story of what this house is. Link the home that you're going to show them today to the buyer's lifestyle and that conversation that you have had before. Make it engaging, make it virtually appealing. Use some of the following items if you need to. Consider some engaging scenarios if you're going to make the property features more relatable. You said you could imagine hosting Thanksgiving dinner at your home and having a spacious living and dining room area. This home has all of that, and in these pictures, we can see the following that would even enhance those big family dinners that you want to have. Envision yourself relaxing on the weekend in a bright, tranquil garden area that's got a nice covered patio and lanai, and potentially this pool entertaining system that's also covered by a great structure here so that you can avoid the bugs and still enjoy the sunshine. Little narratives like this are going to help prepare your buyers for the next step. Get them excited. Nobody gets excited about walking into Walmart and looking at the vegetable and the fruit section in the grocery area and seeing a whole bunch of apples on the shelf. Nobody. But your job as a realtor is to, Mary, we liked this apple. This apple compares very well to the other apples on the shelf. In fact, let me show you some things I, as a realtor, like about this apple and why I believe this is the one that you should decide to make an offer on. This checks all the boxes. It is the bright red color that you told me you wanted. It has a shine to it, not overly shiny, but a nice shine to it that looks as good, if not better, than the other apples that are available in this neighborhood. Its proximity to the other fruits and the other vegetables. See where I'm going. Keep it simple for them. Appeal to their senses. Avoid vivid sensory descriptions such as the fireplace warmth and the nearby park peaceful sounds. Make it about the house. They're going to spend the majority of their time in the home. The neighborhood and the community is what got them there. The home is what you've got to essentially make the offer on. You focus too much on the park. You focus too much on the walking areas. That can translate to, let's go try another neighborhood that's got exactly the same thing. Make sure that the homes that you're viewing, you're pulling the high resolution images from the MLS so that you're able to really zoom in and take a look at all of the features with a little more fine-tooth comb before you decide to show up at the house. Interactive virtual tools are fantastic, especially if you are dealing with out-of-state clients. You're going to want to make sure to do a full video walkthrough, put it on a YouTube server, or send it to them directly via email so that they can look at it over and over again while they're making their decision. Authentic testimonials from previous clients for you is going to help make it relatable that they can trust you using these types of examples. Number 6, I'm going to push you out of your comfort zone and out of your lane a little bit. I realize none of you are loan officers, MLOs as we call them, but you need to present different financing options. Remember, providing transparent information about the financial aspect of buying a property is important. This includes expanding the down payments, closing costs, explaining ongoing expenses like property taxes, insurances, maintenance while you're in the home. Remember, again, you're not a mortgage professional, so make sure to generalize what these financing options are. And again, schedule a meeting with the MLO that's probably been pre-selected. If not, introduce them to several so they can make a good decision, and make sure they know it's not about how much you like that person. It is the financing package they are also offering you and the financing options they are giving you as the company they work for. Make absolutely sure that you can provide as much contact information as possible for the mortgage professionals so they're easy to reach out to and ask plenty of Q&A as well. They have a huge role in this. Your partnership with them and their ability to help you vet the client for the proper amount of financial support to put in an offer is going to be crucial to your success.